Remember home runs by Bob Gibson and Mickey Lolich. There's a long belt by Robinson. Forget that one. It's gone. Nobody moved in the mid-outfield or infield. Robinson slams it into deep left center, and the Orioles lead 3-0. And this is the kind of hitting that the Orioles had all year until September 7th, when they went into a team batting slump during... There's a long belt to deep center going, and that one is gone. Newspapers and radio. There's a high drive into deep left, way up. That one is going, and it is gone. A home run for Frank Robinson.
There are great players in the world of baseball. And then there are players who redefined what greatness looks like. Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson was not just a Hall of Famer. He was power. He was leadership. And he was uncompromising excellence. And no one before or since has walked his exact path in baseball history.
Check Powell at first, delivers. Fly ball, well hit, deep left field. It is going to be the 500th home run of a brilliant major league career. Frank Robinson has done it.
Born in Beaumont, Texas, and raised in Oakland, California, Frank Robinson arrived in Major League Baseball with something to prove. Debuting with the Cincinnati Reds in 1956, Frank Robinson wasted no time making his presence felt. He won Rookie of the Year, blending raw power with discipline and intelligence at the plate.
Frank Robinson lines a hit to left. It bounces off the wall on the first hop for a double.
By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Frank Robinson had become the heart of the Cincinnati Reds lineup, an intimidating presence who demanded respect from pitchers and teammates alike. Despite his production and leadership, the Cincinnati Reds made a decision that would alter baseball history forever. In 1965, Frank Robinson was traded to the Baltimore Orioles, infamously deemed old at the age of 30. And what followed was one of the greatest individual seasons in baseball history.
Fly ball deep to right field. The hood back. It's a home run.
In 1966, Frank Robinson captured the Triple Crown, leading the American League in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. He powered the Orioles to a World Series championship and earned AL Most Valuable Player honors. He had now done something that no one else ever did in Major League Baseball history at the time. Frank Robinson was an MVP in both leagues.
And Frank rips into this one. Tommy Davis going back, but it's gone. It's in there for a home run.
Frank Robinson played angry, but focused. He believed baseball was a profession, not a pastime. Hustle was non-negotiable. Accountability was mandatory. Teammates respected him. Opponents feared him. Whether it was a hard slide into second base or a towering home run into the night, Frank Robinson played the game with intensity that matched his talent.
Still going. He leaps and makes the grab. And see if they get the double play. Here comes Louis back. He makes it back to first. Fine catch by Frank Robinson.
Holding. Long drive. Deep to left field. That one is going. Goodbye.
Over a career spanning 21 seasons, Frank Robinson compiled 586 home runs, 2 Most Valuable Player awards, in both leagues, 14 All-Star selections, and 2 World Series championships. But even then, his most historic contribution to baseball was still ahead. When his playing days ended, the impact of Frank Robinson was just beginning. Most players fade into history after retirement. Frank Robinson changed history. After retiring as a player in 1976, Robinson didn't step away from baseball. He stepped into leadership. In 1975, while still playing for the Cleveland Indians, Frank Robinson became Major League Baseball's first African-American manager. That moment wasn't symbolic, it was transformational. Robinson later managed the San Francisco Giants, the Baltimore Orioles, the Montreal Expos, and the Washington Nationals. He wasn't just filling out lineup cards. He was breaking barriers and redefining leadership in the game. Frank Robinson managed Major League Baseball for 16 seasons. His style of management was demanding, direct, and competitive. Players respected him because he had done it himself. Triple Crown winner, World Series champion. When Robinson spoke, it carried weight. Even when he faced criticism, Frank Robinson carried himself with dignity and authority, paving the way for future managers of color. After his management career is over, Frank Robinson continued serving the game of baseball in executive roles within Major League Baseball. He worked in league offices, focusing on on-field discipline, player development, diversity initiatives, and Major League Baseball later honored him as a special advisor and ambassador, recognizing that his influence extended far beyond statistics. In Cooperstown, New York, in the summer of 1982, the crowd gathered outside the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. And on this day, baseball honored one of the most complete players the game has ever seen. Frank Robinson wasn't just being inducted, he was being immortalized. And in 1982, Robinson was elected to the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility, receiving overwhelming support from the Baseball Writers Association of America. And the numbers spoke for themselves. 586 career home runs, 2,943 hits, 14 All-Star selections, 2 Most Valuable Player awards, 1 in the American League and 1 in the National League, and the 1966 Triple Crown winner. But statistics alone didn't define Frank Robinson. Impact did.
I just like to say I've been chasing him for a long time. Always seemed like I was a step behind or a year behind. I broke in Columbia, South Carolina in 1954, down there after I opened up a half a season at Ogden, Utah. And the talk of the league was all about Hank Aaron. The way it tore up the league, the way he did this, the way he did that. And the talk was about Hank Aaron, and the comparison continued. And I must say that we had a long and a friendly rivalry on the field. And I said this to Hank in New York, when he was induced as being elected to the Hall of Fame, that I think he made me a better baseball player because of that. Because when Hank would get up with the Milwaukee Braves, get a home run, I'd be standing in the outfield watching it go. I said, well, it's up to you. When you get up there, you got to try to do something as well, if not as good, because your teammate's going to be expecting the same. And my neck got sore watching Hank Aaron's fly balls go to the fence. But he was a tremendous athlete, a tremendous ball player. And it's been said that he didn't get his just dues as a player, and I agree. Because Hank Aaron was not a flashy individual. He just went about his job and did it very well. But what I also admired about Hank Aaron, not only his athletic abilities, I admired him as a human being and an outstanding person. But I must say, I thought I had drawn even with Hank when we were elected to the Hall of Fame, but I read where he was 12th and I was 13th. One step behind. but I got him today. In the lineup we had today, the home run king of all time is hitting fourth. No, that's very appropriate, and it's a well-deserved honor. But he's on the on-deck circle. I'm hitting third. I'm going into the Hall of Fame before he does. So I finally got you, buddy.
Even today, Frank Robinson remains one of two players in Major League Baseball history to win Most Valuable Player in both leagues. Frank Robinson was the first to accomplish it, and for decades he stood alone until Shohei Ohtani joined him in 2024. With the Cincinnati Reds, he was a superstar, and with the Baltimore Orioles, he became a legend. And in 1966, he led the Baltimore Orioles to a World Series title, proving a trade could change the course of a franchise. And by the time he stepped to the podium in Cooperstown, New York, his place in history was unquestioned. Frank Robinson's induction speech reflected who he was: direct, thoughtful, and grateful. He thanked teammates, he acknowledged mentors, and he recognized the responsibility that came with breaking barriers. And as the first African-American manager in Major League Baseball history, his Hall of Fame induction represented more than personal achievement. It represented progress. His bronze plaque would not just hang in Cooperstown, New York. It would stand as a symbol of excellence, leadership, and perseverance. Induction into the Hall of Fame is baseball's highest honor. And for Frank Robinson, it confirmed what players, fans, and opponents already knew. He was one of the fiercest competitors the game had ever seen. A power hitter, a champion, a pioneer.
I think to come across a man that set the foundation for my baseball career and maybe my life in general. And that man, a lot of you will not recognize the name, is George Pose. He was my Sandlot coach and high school coach, American Legion coach in Oakland, California. And he was a dedicated man. He gave to the youth of Oakland his time, his knowledge, and his ability that he knew what it would take to play baseball. And what he taught me was how to play the game of baseball the way it should be played, and that is to give 100% at all times, do whatever you can do to win a ball game, short of hurting anyone intentionally.
On February 7th, 2019, the baseball world lost one of its most important voices. Frank Robinson passed away at the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy that stretched far beyond statistics. He wasn't just remembered for home runs or MVP trophies, but for courage, leadership, and breaking barriers when it wasn't easy to do so. From players to managers, executives to fans, tributes poured in across the baseball world. Frank Robinson had become a symbol not only of greatness, but of progress. His impact is still felt every time a player steps into the batter's box with confidence, every time a manager leads with authority, and every time baseball honors those who change the game for better. Frank Robinson didn't just leave a record book behind. He left a standard. The game of baseball will always remember Frank Robinson, the MVP, the champion, the pioneer, and above all, the competitor who never backed down. Frank Robinson didn't ask baseball to change for him. He changed baseball by the way he played it. With power in his swing and fire in his heart, he set a standard that could never be lowered. He demanded excellence, not just from himself, but from the game itself. A champion on the field and a pioneer in the dugout, Frank Robinson proved that greatness isn't given, it's earned. And leadership isn't about words, it's about example. Long after the final out, his legacy still stands in every clubhouse, every batter's box and every moment when the game asked someone to be better than yesterday. Frank Robinson didn't just leave a mark on baseball. He left a standard. Frank Robinson changed the game. Where does he rank all time? Let us know in the comments, as we would love to hear. Also, don't forget to subscribe or smash that thumbs up and follow us for more Baseball Legends Chronicles. And always, thanks for watching.